Round one, let's go first. Definitely want to go first when we're trying to be this aggressive. Ooh, wow. Alright, this is a great hand. Village Messenger is not a card that I really like, but in your opening hand, when you're on the play, yeah, card's pretty good. It's just a ton of damage early that it's hard for them to answer, and it almost certainly flips into the Menace, and it's going to be hard for it to unflip. So they kind of have to use a removal spell or something on it, generally, which is pretty awesome for a one mana creature. Alright, let's just go Bloodseeker. I could play True Fate Sensor, but it seems a lot better to just get down more damage. And I can discard a land to Ravenous Bloodseeker next turn if I really want to stack damage. I don't think that's going to be necessary, though. Alright, play the land and swing. I might discard. I don't know, it's tempting. Deal 6, or deal 5, sorry. My opponent's 12. Discard the mountain. I think we're okay, we can wait. Let's play Wicker Witch. This hand was just perfect. What a great curve. 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop on the play. Wow. Very good one. Now, our opponent can easily get out of this still, although not if they're not playing anything. What are they waiting for? I wonder if they just kept a hand that is full of nothing. Alright, now I'm pretty certain that I can discard a card. I only have 1 6-drop, so it seems pretty reasonable that I can get rid of like a mountain or a plains here. Let's go Censor. Equip onto the Wicker Witch. And swing. There we go. Murder. Sure. Yeah, we'll discard the plains. Opponent down to 9. The nice thing is we get our opponent to murder the Wicker Witch so that we have a much better chance of getting Delirium online. Sure, Voldaren Duelist doesn't attack. Oh, wow, what a draw. That was fantastic. Just tap that down. Put the True Fate Sensor. I think that I actually just want to put it on the Moonrise Intruder still. And I think that we discard the Mountain to the Ravenous Bloodseeker. Put our opponent down to 1 last swing from Moonrise Intruder. I think that makes the most sense here. Okay, opponent's at 3. We have lethal on Moonrise Intruder, and Topplegeist is just kind of pecking away. Ghoulsteed. Sure. Well, this is just my opponent dead, because they have to double block the Moonrise Intruder, which means that they can't block the Ravenous Bloodseeker, which means I win. Nothing they can do about it. Like, yeah, they can double block that, but ultimately, it doesn't really matter. They get to see 1 extra card, so it makes sense to play that out. Because they know that I have to discard, so if I have another card, like, for example, Faithbearer Paladin, they get to see it. Opponent's deck looks pretty good. Murder is nice. Voldaren Duelist is a good card. Alright, that was a perfect game for us, though. Oh, wow, we just ran our opponent over. We were a massive truck. So opponent is now going to be on the play. We have like an Otherworldly Outburst and a Rush of Adrenaline, maybe a Magmatic Chasm, or Make Mischief as kind of sideboard type potential cards. It does look like our opponent will probably be able to gum things up on the ground, if anything. Although the inclusion of Voldaren Duelist does make me think that our opponent's trying to be aggressive too. They maybe just kept like a weak hand. It's hard to tell. I think I'm going to leave it for now and we'll sideboard for the next game and see what happens. I don't think anything, based on what we saw out of our opponent's deck, I don't think there's any real reason to change like a Rush of Adrenaline or Otherworldly Outburst or whatever into the deck. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, this one's dicey. Wow, we got our 5 and our 6 drop. Oof, and a 4. We have a removal spell and a True Fate Sensor, but all of these cards are dead. I need to just mulligan this. Yeah, this is a lot more reasonable. It's certainly not great, but it's more reasonable. I'd love to get a Plains, and that's why I have to bottom this Garden Priest, but... Alright, cool. Now we're good. Anything that we draw is basically live. Thermo Alchemist. Alright. Oh, maybe I should have kept the Sigardian Priest. Not particularly happy drawing another Plains. We don't need a whole lot more lands at this point. Basically none. Let's play the Garage Bandit. And we can attack. I won't be surprised if this dies, honestly. I'm hoping it doesn't, but I also won't be super surprised. That opponent left up 3 mana, 5 cards in hand, and they didn't mulligan, so that doesn't seem great for me. Yeah, if they're blocking, that's really bad. Alright. What does our opponent have? Nothing? Okay. Yeah, Rush of Adrenaline. Eugh. Not good. Okay. I'm not sure why they needed a Borrowed Hostility. Borrowed Hostility is just 1 extra damage there. It was already dead to the Rush of Adrenaline. Really makes no sense, actually. I'm kind of happy that it happened, although drawing another land is not good. Not at all. Alright, let's pass the turn. That seemed like a really weird idea to use the Borrowed Hostility there. I mean, this turn it would be 3 damage instead of 1 damage. Actually 4, because it would still untap the Thermo Alchemist. That just made no sense at all. Alright, well, I mean, I'm glad that it happened. It does give us a little bit more of a chance. Taking 3 damage off the field is pretty great. Hopefully this is... Okay, yeah, like... It's only like a duelist or whatever that I can just shoot with Galvanic Bombardment. Because then I can go shoot that, and then I can go shoot that. Not have to worry about as much. Let's get a non-land card. Or another land card. Oof. This is pretty rough. Opponent's stuck with no lands, but that's probably better than all lands. Oh, wow. Alright, pass turn. This is how we're losing this. The problem is the minute the opponent draws 1 good land, we are in a lot of trouble. Like, if they draw a Swamp, we're probably just dead immediately. Or very, very soon. I don't think we have anything, but just in case I'm misremembering, yeah. Whereas we just don't have anything, so if our opponent, like, gets their land, we kind of don't have answers to any cards. It might work. Make Mischief, alright. I think that we just Faith Unbroken away this Thermo Alchemist now. Kind of don't like putting all of our eggs in one basket here on Lithalia's Lancers, but I want to get the 2 damage in now. So, alright, I'm just going to put it on it. I'm going to keep the land in hand now. I probably should have kept a couple lands in hand beforehand anyways. Just to stop the... just to stock up on lands so that we can have ways to get pump onto the Ravenous Bloodseeker in case we draw it. Attack for 7. Good news is that we can even this up pretty quickly if our opponent's not doing anything. There's another land. But it is a mountain, so that's pretty good. Makes me a little more confident that our Thalia's Lancers isn't just dying immediately. They can't have, like, Alchemist Greeting or something. Even if they had the mana for it, it's just not enough damage on the Thalia's Lancers. Hit us for 1. I'll take it for a turn. Village Messenger. Alright. Just smash in for 9. So opponent's at 4. We could certainly have tried to block with the Guardian of the Pilgrim just to be a little safer in case our opponent can stack a bunch of like pump and damage spells, but Malevolent Whispers, sure. Alright. Well. Oh, they only attacked... Oh, wow. Did they only attack that? Oh, no. I think that they were in the middle of declaring attackers still. Yeah, they were still in the middle of declaring attackers, so they'd have attacked the Devil too. Okay. Look, if they attacked with only the Thalia's Lancers, thinking the Faith Unbroken stayed on it, then ooh-wee. But, like, we could have had a chance there. Not much of one, but it's possible. Well, that was brutal. I'd said it before, if our opponent just drew a land, we were probably dead, and that is exactly what happened. Our opponent drew a couple land, and they had a bunch of answers in hand, because we just didn't have anything going on. Yeah, I still think I'm okay with the way that this is. Make Mischief seems fine, but not amazing. I just have better answers already with these Galvanic Bombardments and the Faith Unbroken, stuff like that. I'll just slam it. Let's jam. Whew. This time all plains and no mountains. Polar opposite of last time. I think if I draw a mountain then we're good, but I have to draw a mountain. I do have the Sigardan Priest. I'm just going to keep it. I'm tired of mulliganing already. That last game was pretty miserable for a lot of different reasons. Alright. Come on, mountain. Well, that's playable, so that's okay. Got the Priest. I think Priest is strong enough to justify keeping. Come on, mountain. Every turn I'm just going to be hoping for it. Another plains. Oof. Worst possible card to draw, I think. Besides maybe like a double red card, I guess. The Impetuous Devils would be pretty bad. We'll get down the Ironclad Slayer. There's no reason to wait until we have Faith Unbroken and have it die. Like, that just seems way too greedy. Especially when I don't have anything else going on. I need to get in here. Conduit of Storms. Werewolf Horror. Well, I have the Garden Priest for that. I think I'm willing to trade Ironclad Slayer for it. Opponent is not willing to trade. That's fine. Because I can just tap it down, so it's not that bad. Tap the Conduit and pass. I so desperately need a mountain. Make Mischief. Oof. That's really bad, because now Ironclad Slayer just trades with the Devil, which is not at all what I want. Could tap the Devil now. Let them use the Conduit of Storms, but then they can transform it, and I don't like that. I think we just play the Parish Blade and pass. Hopefully we draw that mountain soon. We really need it. Okay, so yeah, now Conduit of Storms is going off here. Tempted to just tap the Devil so I can attack in, but it makes no sense when this thing can just flip into something huge. Be a major pain. Gibbering Fiend, sure. Come on, mountain. Alright, we have gas. So, I think we just Thalia's Lancers still? Maybe not. I can't tap the Conduit if I play the Lancers, although I can just block the Conduit. So that might be reasonable. If my opponent plays a land and attacks, I don't think I can block the Lancers. It just seems way too dicey. But I think it makes sense to just play it this turn. I can't really attack. They can trade Gibbering Fiend and Devil for our creatures, and our creatures are so much better than that. Let's not use it. No reason to. It'll just waste time. See what our opponent has in store for us at end of turn. Succumb to temptation? Murder. Murder the Thalia's Lancers. Gross. Well, in comes a Conduit of Storms, probably transforming. I'm gonna guess that's what's happening here. Next turn I have Sin Prodder and the Sigardian Priest still, so we're far from out of this game. Still a pretty miserable start. Not where we wanted to be. I need to get Delirium for this Paranoid Perish Blade, but that's a high order for this deck. It's very difficult for us to do that. Yeah. Problem is, unless I double block, I can't force my opponent to activate it. I don't really want to double block. You know, actually, it might be okay. If they do activate it, then they lose their whole turn to it by basically flipping it, and they do lose it. I lose both of my creatures, but it might be worth it for the team in the trade. I do get Sin Prodder afterwards, and I can Galvanic Bombardment or tap down Gibbering Fiend and then start getting into the Sin Prodder, maybe? I think I'm okay with this. They could have a trick, but I mean, if they have a trick, I think it's going to be pretty relevant this game at some point. I'd rather they use their removal spell on this now rather than on Sin Prodder later. Uncaged Fury. Yeah, that's basically the worst one. I hadn't seen it yet, so didn't necessarily know that my opponent had it. There we go. I'm playing the Mountain because we do want to have Galvanic Bombardment up. So now we have Sin Prodder. I can shoot the Gibbering Fiend whenever I want to. And I can use this Sigardian Priest to just keep tapping down the Conduit. Oh no. Ugh. Just thinking, as long as my opponent doesn't have removal, that I might be in okay shape. But now we're just kind of screwed. We're way behind on the board, behind on life, and now we just don't have anything going on. Opponent's a card up on us. Well, it will be right away, because I'm going to be just throwing this out probably. Well, yeah, I think I have to for a Gibbering Fiend. Not good. This thing is just going to be too much damage if I just let it keep hitting me. So I'll get rid of it now. Hit with that Devil, Guardian of Pilgrims. I'm not attacking it with the Sigardian Priest, but I might as well play the Guardian of Pilgrims anyways. We have to draw very well from here on out to actually have a chance. Oof, that is super bad. Blocks really well against our Guardian, and it's going to be a huge threat for us because it's just going to constantly stack damage on us. Piece by piece. I think here I probably just want to get rid of this Devil. The Guardian's not getting through the Thermal Alchemist right now anyways, and 1 damage a turn is going to be pretty annoying. Pass the turn. Opponent flips the Conduit, sure. And it still just gets tapped down. Although it will eventually be quite relevant because I'm sure our opponent's going to have another creature eventually. Another land. I needed to get some of those things down earlier with mountains. Luckily, our opponent's seeming to get a lot of lands here too, so we're both kind of in the same boat. The problem is their board is just much better than mine. Yeah, now there's Ghoulsteed. Oof. Voldaran Duelist. I mean, I can attack in with that. It's not going to do us a whole lot of good, because now we're taking 4 from the Ghoulsteed on the backswing. There's no real reason to block the Ghoulsteed yet. So I might as well attack, tap this down, take 1 from the Alchemist, 4 from the Ghoulsteed, and just take my lumps. Hope to get something that I can trade with the Ghoulsteed with later with the Voldaren Duelist. I did that a little too fast. I thought we were in beginning of combat. That could have been bad. It's possible for our opponent to like put an enchantment on a creature or something afterwards. Subjugator Angel. That's helpful. So we need to play our land because we want to have 7. We want to be able to tap its Guardian Priest afterwards. I'm going to attack the Duelist now. That might not make a lot of sense, but if anything, I want my opponent to block here. Like, yeah, 3 damage getting through for sure is good, but it's actually better if our opponent just lets this die, because it's so much damage right now. It's damage that I can't answer is the big problem. So I can trade Subjugator Angel for the Conduit, and then the Ghoulsteed I can tap down. I don't really want to trade the Ghoulsteed because then they just get it back by discarding some of the cards in their hand. So I'm thinking that we're actually just going to block the Conduit of Emrakul here and tap the Ghoulsteed. It's really bad if our opponent has a trick, but I don't think we win the game if our opponent has a bunch of tricks here. And the mana is pretty irrelevant at this point for attacking. Opponent already has 8 lands in play. It seems pretty unlikely that we can really care. They can really care about having an extra 2. I might be wrong. I mean, maybe they just have like Burn from Within and kill us immediately, but I doubt it. All right, another land, but our opponent is pretty flooded. We have a chance. I mean, Voldaren Duelist just gets in. We can keep the Ghoulsteed tapped. As long as our opponent doesn't have a bunch of relevant creatures in the row, then we might actually be okay here. So Guardian Priest is worth its weight in gold this game, by the way. Oh, man. Like, in case you're not noticing this, Guardian Priest is just doing some heavy lifting. Village Messenger. This is why I don't like Village Messenger. It is pretty atrocious right now. I'll play it anyways. It will flip, hopefully. That is the good thing. Down to 7. It's going to be a tight race against Thermo Alchemist, even just tapping down the Ghoulsteed every turn with this Guardian Priest. Fury Blade Vampire. Yeah, that is going to be scary. It's going to be a 4/2 Trampler every turn. Tap the Ghoulsteed and pass. Ooh, Galvanic Bombardment. I already have one in the graveyard, so I could shoot this Thermo Alchemist. I want to wait until... Or do I? I kind of want to wait until my opponent's turn so I can flip the Village Messenger, but I kind of don't, because then that also means that Thermo Alchemist gets to untap again and deal us extra damage. My opponent... So I attack here for 3. My opponent's not blocking. Let's say we... let our opponent hit us with the Thermo Alchemist. We go to 6. They hit us with the Thermo Alchemist again on their turn. We go to 5. They use Fury Blade Vampire, and then any spell kills us. But we could Galvanic Bombardment the Fury Blade. Or we could tap the Fury Blade and chump block Village Messenger on Ghoulsteed, thinking that we can Galvanic Bombardment away their Thermo Alchemist for the win with the Voldaren Duelist. Tap anything else that they play. Actually, that seems pretty good. I think I like that. So we just let this happen. The Village Messenger transforms. But it kind of doesn't matter because I think I'm just chump blocking the Ghoul Steed. Because I feel like we can get down to a point where our opponent just doesn't have enough blockers. We can shoot the only human that they have and tap something else. Certain death. Oh my god, that's so bad. That is really bad. I have to Galvanic Bombardment the Fury Blade, I think. Oh, that's so horrible. Yeah, I mean, I basically just die. I die if I don't. Not basically, I do die if I don't. I should have waited. I should have waited until they discarded. That was dumb. I'm just panicked now. Oh, that's certain death. We're back down behind our opponent again. Something good. Falconwrath Reaver is not quite it. Not the worst, not the best. Okay, blocking with the Thermo Alchemist. Please don't have something. Please don't have something. They have something. No? Okay, whew, good. Get down the Reaver. I should have waited until my opponent discarded the Fury Blade, though, because they would definitely have to discard to it. I can't imagine that our opponent doesn't try and get the 4 damage off with it. Does our opponent die? Guess we'll see. This has been quite a game. Our opponent flooded out quite a bit. We flooded quite a bit. Had some trouble getting the Great Colors of Mana at the beginning. Borrowed Malevolence. Ooh, stay alive at 1. Wonder if we'd attacked with Sigardian Priest, if that would have made a difference. I feel like our opponent was trying to bait us into attacking with it so they could get us. Which is why I didn't really want to do it. Because it leaves us dead on the backswing very quickly. I don't like that. Did give our opponent a chance to draw one last turn of a burn spell. So do they have like a Fiery Temper? Guess we'll see. Tap the Ghoul Steed. And... oof. I can tap the Devil, so we're still winning as long as our opponent doesn't have anything afterwards. I think we're good. Wow, what a game. 1-1. That was a thing. That was quite a game. Alright, well, looks like we're going on to the second round. That was one hell of a match. Alright, I'm excited about this. That was a huge game. Wow. Game 2 was pretty annoying and brutal, but that last game, we both had really, really bad draws, and it felt kind of miserable, but then it just got really close at the end there, and it ended up being quite a good game. So that was a good match. Very interesting look at the deck, and we'll see a little bit more of it for round 2, which is nice. Well, that's fine. I guess we don't get to play Galvanic Bombardment because there's nothing that we want to kill. We'll just play the Sin Prodder instead. We might be able to use Galvanic Bombardment at the end of this turn. That's certainly a possibility. And what is this? Hopefully not Clear Shot. Oh, it's going to be Clear Shot, isn't it?